How do you think you will get on organising, and what will you use to organise your social media so that you can reuse it every year, so you're not reinventing the wheel? What system do you like? What system do you have already that you can use? And how are you going to make sure you're not reinventing the wheel all the time? September, October is a perfect time to get these things done. We've got to think about next year, but I want you after this podcast to think, how can I organise, repeat, deal with my social media so that I'm not reinventing the wheel and so that I'm not exhausting myself, forcing myself into burnout. And if I'm more introverted, I'm not punishing myself by being out there in the world all the time. How am I going to do that? Welcome to September, and in the Facebook group Strictly Education and Support, we're currently involved in the Get Sorted September Challenge. Why don't you come over and join us? As long as you join before the 20th, then you'll be in it to win it. There's a challenge tracker, and if you win on the challenge tracker, then you'll win a 1-to-1 with me. So maybe, just maybe, I'll see you over in the group and I'll see you on the challenge. For now, you enjoy the podcast and hope to see you soon. Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists and practitioners, responding directly to the needs of a practicing natural therapist. With interviews, herbal discussions, something business, something clinical, you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in practice. So thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review and subscribe to the podcast for our episodes. If you'd like more support, get in contact, and I look forward to working with you soon. Hello everyone. Here we are getting towards the end of September. I can't believe it. Now this isn't the September roundup. That will be coming soon for Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size podcast, and also in the groups we will be having a roundup. Are you getting my recap of events email every Friday? Because that one has links to podcasts and links to my lives in Strictly Education and Support. So if you'd like to be getting that email, let me know. Send me a message or email me, geraldine@mentoringwithgeraldine.biz. So what are we going to talk about today? Today is all about future organisation. Because we're in the September, October sort of time of the year, where not a lot happens really. Schools are open, kids are doing normal things, the teams are just doing team stuff. We're not end of season. So I remember my daughter, when she did netball, she was very young, she was about 10 or 11, and she did netball, and we had semi-finals, then we had the semi-finals, then we had the semi-final of the semi-final, then we had the final of the finals, then we had the final. It seemed to go on forever before we actually got to the final. I kept turning up going, oh, this is the final. No. This is a semi-final. Now, so that isn't for a while yet. That's towards the end of the season. And right now, September, October time, things are pretty stable, aren't they? When you've got to take a kid somewhere for sport, everything is as it is. We're just working, aren't we? We've had the July holidays. We're about to have the Christmas holidays. And that's what I want to talk to you about, because Christmas holidays seem like a long way off, don't they? We're writing 9th and 10th of the month, or 10th month, 9th month, 10th month. But that means we're only 2 months off from Christmas. Now, I don't want to worry you. I don't want to panic you. But what I do want you to do is to go back and have a look at what you delivered to the world last year, because you can start getting ahead now by just tweaking what you delivered to the world 12 months ago. And it means that we're getting ready for the end of the year. So I'm getting ready to close the doors of the academy so that I can concentrate on the people who are in there. I can have co-working with them. And in that co-working time, we all prep for the end of the year. We prep to get ahead. Because that's the thing when you run your business, isn't it? You've got nobody else doing these things for you. You have to do them. And September, October time is very set, as I've said. So we know that we've got to pick up little Johnny at 4 o'clock on Wednesday and 2 o'clock on Thursday, or whatever it is. And so we have that set time. Nothing unusual is going to happen. They're not going to suddenly have a netball final, or netball's not going to suddenly finish, or there's not going to be a netball party, or we haven't started, school hasn't started organising the nativity or the Christmas play or whatever it might be. So we haven't got all these extra drop-offs and pickups and running around for other people. We are us. And if you're single, then, you're thinking, I've just had my holiday. What will I do for the summer holiday? Will I keep working? When will I have my holiday? What will I do? Maybe I'll go to Adelaide for Mad March. So we can start planning those things, but we also need to plan to get ahead with social media. And now is a really good time to do it. Nobody is going to look back at what you were posting last year. And we're launching all the time in small business. We're having to tell people we exist all the time. We're having to say, hey, I've got availability here. Hey, this is what my room looks like. Hey, Christmas is coming soon. Do you want to be ready, Christmas ready health-wise and things like this? So if we manage to create, I have a Trello board actually in the academy that people can access with ideas for the whole year, social media ideas. So that's in there. So I use that. I use a similar, I have others that I use, but I have a Trello board that what I'm delivering month by month. So the Trello board I've created in the academy, people can make a copy of it and then they can adjust that and make it there so that every year they don't have to be thinking of new things. The new things they're thinking of, the new things they're thinking. I'm really bringing out my Kiwi in this one today, aren't I? The new things that you're thinking of are top up to the baseline stuff that's coming out. Because once we have this system in train, once we have January to December in train and what we're going to promote and do, then we just update it. We go back to what was I doing September last year. Now, you might look at the pictures from September last year. So I have a VA, Andrea, as you all know, and a number of times we've co-opted her sister and got her on board we've got behind or we want to get really ahead. So her sister has done the design of the social media posts for us. And just for a few months. And so when we look back at some of those, she often will put in young people. So I couldn't understand that 5 years ago now. I kept getting all these young women, these 20-something young women coming to see me. And then I realized that my social media posts were all young women because she was creating pics about herself. And, so although the story, she'd look at what we'd written. So I write what's going on social media and then someone else creates the picture. So it would be Angeline or Andrea creates a picture and then she schedules it and posts it. So we use Tailwind for our scheduling. That's right. I remember now. I think I have an affiliate link somewhere if you want it. I'll put it in the show notes. So I find that very useful, Tailwind, and we post onto Pinterest as well. So all of these things being posted. So Andrea does that, but I haven't got the time to do the pictures. As much as I love using Canva and how much fun it is, I haven't got time to make those pictures. So they will make the pictures for me. And a few years ago, she was making pictures of young 20-somethings. So I started getting loads of 20-something people to see me. Now, when Andrea's going back and having a, what did we post last year? What did we post 2 years ago, 3 years ago? So she changes, she updates the picture. The words are still the same because it's the same seasonally. It's the same thing happening. So if we're really organized and we have like a Trello board with everything on it and links back to those pictures in Canva or those posts, then we know that we can adjust it. In Canva, if you're using Canva, you can have files and you could put, you can have 100 pictures on the free system. I can't remember how many files you can have, but there's 100 pictures capacity in X number of files. So you could certainly, there's 30 days in a month, so you could certainly have a couple of months worth of pictures in each folder, folder, and then it's easy to go back. If it says January, February, March, April, whatever, you can go back, find the picture, change it slightly, because of course themes change over time. We went through a very white phase, didn't we? We went through a phase of all of the pictures having sort of a creamy, salmony sort of background and so on and so forth. If we can reuse, and now is the time of year, because everything is so set in stone, you've got your timings of when you're available, when you can do things. It's a really good time to look back to last September, October and go, how can I reuse those posts? But how can I store them somewhere so that next year, all I have to do, and from now on, from this point onward, I can store them in this one place so I can just reuse them like in Tailwind. They're stored there. How can we store them to reuse them again later? Because that's going to reduce our overwhelm and our overwork when it comes to the summer holidays, because we've got things organised and we're getting ahead. So now the academy doors do close in the first week of October. They have to, because I need, addresses off everybody to post their goodie bag, and because I want to be able to offer one-to-ones to everybody in the Academy over the summer. That's the thing we do in the Academy, so everybody gets half an hour with me who's in the Academy. Gold members get another one in July. But of course, with the co-working and the Q&As, there's actually time with me as well, which is not as long. Those half an hours are really, really valuable to people. So if you're not in the Academy, really do consider it. It's really worth that time with me and that time with the other members and being able to work together in the way that we do. So I'm going to leave it there. How do you think you will get on organising, and what will you use to organise your social media so that you can reuse it every year, so you're not reinventing the wheel? What system do you like? What system do you have already that you can use? And how are you going to make sure you're not reinventing the wheel all the time? September, October is a perfect time to get these things done. We've got to think about next year, but I want you, after this podcast, to think, how can I organise, repeat, deal with my social media so that I'm not reinventing the wheel, and so that I'm not exhausting myself, forcing myself into burnout. And if I'm more introverted, I'm not punishing myself by being out there in the world all the time. How am I going to do that? So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and you know the deal. If you got it to the end, I'd love a 5-star review. Catch you soon. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.